Hey guys, it's Tom. We are about to witness, I am sharing the screen, presenting to everyone, the SSFA Super Bowl matchup between Dennis Crowley's Seattle Seahawks and Commissioner Ed's San Francisco 49ers. Now, Ed just lost the Samsung Super Bowl in heartbreaking fashion. Dennis was 16-0 in Samsung and lost in the semifinals. So both of these guys looking to grab that championship after having a couple of shots at it in the spring. And we are underway, as I was going to try to bring up the regular season records really quickly, but I heard the kickoff going. You have another reason to play with the sounds on when you're broadcasting. Seattle was 10-6, San Francisco was 10-5-1. And let's get back to the action here. And Ed got the ball to start. He's got 1st and 10 at his own 20 after a touchback. Kirk Cousins is Ed's quarterback. Tim Hightower is actually the leading rusher on this team. Long pass to Delaney Walker. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Walker only covered by 4. 2 blitzes in play for Dennis, who likes to rush the passer. And we get defender X a long gain, and he beats the 4 for a long gain, a 57-yard completion on the first play from scrimmage. The first play from scrimmage yields a 57-yard long pass, long gain. Then it's double team Steve Smith the 5, leaves Delaney Walker dangerous on single coverage against the 4. I bet he's wishing now he didn't do that. And it's 1st and 10 for the Niners at the Seattle 23 after the first play of the game. Linebacker Tim Hightower. Ed loves to run it. Likes to run the ball a lot. He'll run a lot even with backs who aren't that great. He's got a pretty decent line. Pops a 6-stroke in the Hightower. It's a 1st down. 14 yards down to the Seattle 9. This game just started. And 2 plays, 66 yards for Ed. That's bad math. 2 plays, 71 yards for Ed. And he's at Dennis's 9-yard line. Bilal Powell and Carlos Hyde look like they might be checking in the full house. Ed even changes out his starting receiver, makes Stephon Diggs the receiver from near the goal line. We've seen that before. As the studio audience is +1. And Ed's in the full house. So if you're just joining us, it was a long pass to Fender X, a long gain to beat a 4. Dennis double teaming elsewhere for a 57-yard completion to bring Ed down here. That's why he's already down here with the game just underway. This is the 3rd play from scrimmage. Short pass to Delaney Walker, being double teamed now by the linebacker, Carlos Stansby. And it's incomplete on Kirk Cousins' card. Ed picked up Cousins in trade, I want to say last year. Not before this year. I think it was the year before. I had the Matt Ryan overturn trade. I think maybe the 10th pick in the draft for Cousins. That's worked out pretty well for Ed. I think Ron or Butch, might have been Butch, also had Matt Ryan. 2nd and goal for the Niners. I believe I have play animation on. I've got a little bit of a cold, but the adrenaline can carry you through it. Let's hope that that happens. 2nd and goal from the 9. You see Dennis has got all kinds of 5s and 6s up front. Only 1-4 in the secondary. That's Kenny Vaccaro. End run left, Carlos Hyde. Defense guessing pass. There is a linebacker there, it looks like. Pop that 6 outside. So Ed needs his own card. And does get guessed wrong. 5-yard gain on Hyde's card. Setting up a 3rd and goal from the 4 for the commissioner. Ed coming off that heartbreaking defeat in the Samsung final. When he was leading by 10 with a few minutes left, and Kurt drove down the field for a touchdown, and they recovered an onside kick with only 1 timeout and 1:52 to go, and then drove it in from there for a touchdown to win the Samsung championship. And let's see who wins the SSFA championship, which does not normally get played after Samsung. I don't care what Ed says about the length of the seasons, but we've got 3rd and goal from the 4 for the commissioner. Stays in the full house. Defense showing blitz. And it's Dennis's right end, Derek Wolf, who is the 6. So that there were no linebackers in zone on the previous run. Short pass, Anthony Fasano. Defense calls run. Does a Foreman there, showing blitz. So 10 would be a touchdown on the defense. Cousins has 2-7 good at his card. Fasano, I think, is a 16-22 guy. And he catches it. Receiver gets wrong. Touchdown to Fasano. It was better than I thought on the short pass. Wrong. 6-11, 15, 18, 19. Wow. No, it is 22. 16-22. And Ed punches it in on his opening possession. It's an 80-yard drive, not an 80-play drive. That would be unheard of. But an 80-yard drive. And the extra point is up and good. 7-0 Ed, early going. And Ed's a very good defensive coach. Don't want to give him an early touchdown. Dennis played for the double team on Steve Smith, a little aggressively there. I started buying into a little more of this, maybe keep my safety home a little bit. Bend but don't break, let him go the length of the field, that type of thing, pick my spots. I'm not saying that's right, but maybe pick that up a little bit from the Jay Villings of the world. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Seattle after a touchback. That's what I say that from watching these games, not necessarily anything else. Off tackle right to Frank Gore. We'll see the ball an awful lot for Dennis tonight. Offensive onside tackle +8 or +3. It's only a 3-yard game. Bobby Massey's a 5, but it's a white die 6. Russell Wilson, of course, Dennis's quarterback. Martavis Bryant and Michael Floyd, the receivers. So some big play capability there. Jimmy Graham, the tight end. Kyle Juszczyk, the blocking back. He gets some targets. And he gets a looking pass to Frank Gore. Defense calls run, slides a linebacker out. Linebacker in zone +1 or +6. Navarro Bowman, the 5, makes the play. 3rd down and 6. Now, Ed will generally not be as aggressive with his safety as Dennis is, or as I maybe used to be. Maybe still am, I don't know. Ed's probably still more conservative than I am with that. They don't want to give the big plays, the long gains. Even though the 4 is back there, they're thinking, well, it's +28. It's not a 50-yard gain, that type of thing. Reduced reception chances, probably. Receiver chances on a long pass, one man compared to long pass. No man, no clean long gains, certainly. So 3rd and 6 with long pass, one man on the draft league cards. 3rd and 6 for Seattle. And this is an average Super Bowl. With the draft league cards, there is no home field advantage. And we're left to Thomas Rawls. Defense calls passes. A linebacker there, 0 +4. Melvin Ingram could not make the play, despite being a 5 against the run, so it's a 4-yard gain. He would not have gotten the 1st down anyway, even with no linebackers there. But Dennis has to punt it. It's a 49-yarder that takes a Seahawk bounce and bounces another 10 yards down to the San Francisco 13. But Ed says that's fine. Held Dennis 3 and out. 7-0 lead. Looking good. Tim Hightower does not have a particularly good card, but Ed runs him a lot, and people don't seem to respect it. And Dennis goes 6-6-6 on the defensive line, and Dennis, if you've played against, does not like to call run by his own admission. So you might see a lot of Tim Hightower, particularly if Ed's got at least a touchdown lead. There's a linebacker Hightower gets right. Dennis calls run this time. It's a 2-yard gain. And you can see that Hightower right card is not going to do much. That one was 2 yards right or wrong. 2nd down and 8. Ed is right tackle 0, which I find surprising. 0-5 Ricky Wagner. And Dennis run king Hightower, daring Ed to throw deep again. He's seen these playoff games. Knows that Ed with the lead gets a little conservative in offense. It's a 2-yard loss. Hightower very good taking care of the football with only a minimum run fumble number of 9 there. On the run key, 3rd and 10 for the commissioner. So we see that Ed's got a right tackle 5, right guard 5. I think the rest of these guys might be 7. So no, Alex Mack's only a 4. Short pass, Malcolm Floyd being double teamed by Eric Weddle, and the rush is on. There's a sack. Rashad Breeland getting credit for the sack, but it was Dwight Freeney coming off the edge. Actually in there as the pass rushing defensive end, and he indeed did pass rush successfully. And then gets a booming punt from Matt Bosher, 62 yards, down to the 33 for Dwayne Harris. I think he has a touchdown on 2. It's on. I thought it was on 3, but it came up. Instead, it's no gain on a 10. But there you see 6 through 9 is 10 yards or more, 3 and 12 or 8 yards, and 2 is a touchdown. So Dennis can get some decent returns, and Bosher has a block there. So could be in decent shape if you can force some punts. We're about midway through the first quarter in this SSFA Super Bowl. Jay Villing won the last 2. Each of these guys, I believe, has 1 SSFA title. They're looking for their 2nd. Short pass to Martavis Bryant. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Receiver gets right incomplete. Bryant's a 1926. That was 7, so you'd have to be a running back to catch that, or a blocking back. Second down and 10 for Dennis. Only his second possession. As I said, we're midway through the first quarter. Thomas Rawls checks in. And run right, Thomas Rawls. Defense guessing pass. No linebackers there. Short gain and Rawls calls snake eyes. 20 yards. 1, 3, 8, 14 units of short gain. 17 units of short gain or better on the end run wrong for Thomas Rawls. And outside of the dreaded 5, 4 is really a bad roll of 3 yards. Everything else is 6 yards or more. Oh, that's pretty nice. 29 out of 36, 6 yards or more. I'll take that. Linebacker Thomas Rawls defense guesses run, but Dad did not bring anyone up. Dennis threw some flats on his first possession, and 8 is a 9-yard gain on that 3-4 defense with no linebackers in the zone. Second and 1. Rawls has played more in the second half for Dennis in his other playoff games, but perhaps sensing I'm down, I got to do something here. Let me bring Rawls in. I don't want to let Ed sort of start to get comfortable. Well, past Michael Floyd, defense getting past, no linebackers there. Floyd coming by 5, must run and play. Defender X long gain. Can he get a white die 6? No, he does not. It is Stephon Gilmore, the former Buffalo first-round pick, now of the NFL's New England Patriots, 5 out of 5 making the play. Third down and 1 for Dennis at the San Francisco 38. So it's 4-down territory for the Seahawks coach. 6:54 to go in the first quarter. Dennis trails 7-0. Dennis will call his plays quickly, pretty much no matter what time of the game we are in. Takes a little extra time here. Linebacker Thomas Rawls pass with a linebacker in zone. And +5 on the 8 of the defensive card, so it shaved a few yards off of that with his linebacker. That's Darryl Smith, the veteran 0-4. But it's a first down for Dennis at the San Fran 33. Rawls with only 15 total unpatid carries. Short pass to Kyle Juszczyk, guess wrong. 12 is incomplete on the box scores. 1, 3, 7, 12, 16, 19 for Russell. Guess wrong, plus the receiver. Juszczyk came through, I guess maybe in the semifinal in one of the early playoff games for Dennis. Had a big second half, I think with 2 touchdown receptions. Frank Gore comes back in, 2nd and 10. That tells me Dennis wants to run it with Gore because he knows he brings Rawls in. And Mike has run, but he gets a play action pass anyway. Short pass to Michael Floyd, gets wrong. Receiver is 10 and 16 yards on Floyd's cover, which has a very nice yardage on it and 5 units of long gain. And Dennis has got a first down at the San Francisco 17 as he tries to tie the game. Good cat and mouse on that second down play as Dennis bringing in Frank Gore and then decoying with him. Because I think he brings in Frank Gore thinking, I won't call run, bang, I call run. Dennis throws short pass, Michael Floyd gets the receiver, gets wrong. First and 10 for Dennis. Scores in there still. And there's an off tackle to Gordon, no linebackers there, blocking back 7 and 5. Juszczyk is a 5, makes the block 7 yards. 2nd and 3 for Seattle at the San Fran 10. 4:48 to go now in the first quarter. Nathan watching the game along with Kurt Retzlaff. Kurt getting himself fitted for a Silencer championship ring. He likes the sound of that. 2nd and 3 for the Seahawks. Congratulations to Kurt. I meant to post on that in the forum. Tremendous job. 2nd 3 for the Hawks of the San Fran 10. Flat pass right to Frank Gore, gets right, and is complete for 6 yards in the first down. First flat pass we've seen in a while. I've said this before. Dennis mixes up his plays about as well as any offensive coach you're going to find. He hasn't thrown flat in a while, throws flat, hasn't thrown short in a while, throws short. He mixes in the occasional bomb, and, of course, he runs the ball. I think he has a very, very nice run-pass balance. You don't never feel too comfortable against it. It's like he's definitely going to do one or the other. First and goal from the 4. Linebacker Frank Gore from the full house. Offensive center 5-0. And Max Unger, the ex-Seahawk, makes the block, pumped up to a 5. Would have made the block anyway. Dennis gets the short touchdown. Team at 7 after the extra point. Nice drive by Dennis. And it's 7-7 here in the SSFA Super Bowl. Kickoff goes down to the 1-yard line, and it's put out 30 yards by Brandon Oliver. Dennis does not have the best opponent kickoff return here. It's not abysmal. And you got not even as many 8 and 9 yard deep kicks as most guys, but that's okay. Not a lot of investments in great kickoff returners, I don't think, in the current Strat leagues because there's so many touchbacks. Long pass to Steve Smith, defense double teaming elsewhere. Smith covered by a 5. This was like the Delaney walk away. Picked off 2 to 9 and 12, incomplete on Kirk Cousins' card. 11, guess right. Intercepted 2 to 9 and 12, and then rolls to 10. Avoiding disaster That deserves a shoe. If you're Ed Barrow, 2nd down and 10. Let's see what happens now. Dennis says, I could have taken control of the game with that turnover. Short pass, Anthony Fasano being single covered, or actually not being covered at all. It's the linebacker blitzes. I think that's Melvin Ingram. The center's only a 4 for Dennis, for Ed rather. And defender Hector Shulkin is complete with no defender. Was a 6 on the wide tie anyway. And that's a 5 at outside linebacker. It's a 12-yard pickup for a first down. It's Tom Bahali at left outside. Now I know Alex back to center is the 4. Flat pass left of Fasano. 2 linebackers there for Dennis. You'd love to see something on the defense's card. Defender -3, a +3. Tom Bahali is a 5. 5 and a 5 makes the play. -3, 2nd and 13 for Ed at his own 40. Ed's got 5-7 to the left side, but otherwise you can get to the quarterback through the center and right side. And the blocking back looks like it's a 4. Linebacker Tim Hightower in 2nd and 13, only 1 linebacker behind. 10's only a 5-yard gain. Ed got his money's worth out of this Tim Hightower card. I don't know where the hell he got it from or drafted it, but he used the heck out of it. It was either in this team or in Thompson where he was his leading rusher, even though he has only Carlos Hyde and Bilal Powell. So I don't know. Maybe I look at the numbers. I look at the numbers, but maybe he's thinking they're never going to get strong with Hightower in there, and I'd rather run get strong with him all day than get hit with some right calls. Flat pass right to Hightower, 3rd and 8. Linebacker's a 5. This is a big play. To realize it's 3rd and long. Defender -1, a +4. -1. JT Thomas, the outside linebacker, makes the play. And Ed's going to punt it. Have to punt it on 4th and 9 from his own 44. And it's a 50-yard punt. It's going to be down inside the 10-yard line for Dwayne Harris. Dennis will probably try to return this. Lets it bounce, and it comes out to the end zone. There you go. I did some quick math of that a couple months ago. I forget if it's like maybe you're on 7, where you're better off kind of running it out because you're more likely to get pinned or something like that. I forget the exact number though, so I'm glad I'm not playing a game right now. So 1st and 10 for Crowley at his own 20. Frank Gore in there. He sees mixed rolls and Gore used rolls in that drive to get back in the game. Not that he was out of the game, but to get the tying score and to regain some early momentum. Ed had a linebacker in zone wisely that time. That's only a 3-yard game. Both of these coaches have called run enough that you would not feel comfortable calling a draw play, certainly on 1st and 10. 2nd and 7 for the Seahawks. As we start the second quarter, they're at their own 23. There's a flat pass left to Frank Gore. 2 men there, gets wrong. Receiver gets wrong, incomplete. The only thing on a 7. It's the dreaded 7 for the receivers, the dreaded 5 for the runners. Of course, flat pass, different animal, but still. Short pass wrong is where you see that most. 3rd and 7 for Dennis. Goes 3 wide, 1 fullback. Stays in the pistol. Why? So you run off tackle or college district? No, because he likes it. You can go shotgun. It would make a difference probably here in this situation, but I digress. Zach Miller is the tight end. Jimmy Graham splits out as a wide receiver this time. Interesting look. And, don't forget about the must run with Russell. We see Ed go dime 3-2-6, which he's done throughout this postseason. In 3rd and 7 or more. Short pass, Michael Floyd double teamed. Dump ball for 4 yards only from Wilson to Juszczyk, and Dennis will punt it. 4th and 3 from his own 27. Trey Way, no way. 46-yard punt. Down to about the 30 for TJ Carey. And Carey goes nowhere on a reading of 6, no yards. Kind of an odd punt returning card. There is that long gain on 12. Dennis' guy's got a block on 12. So a bit of jeopardy there for Dennis. Potential jeopardy when he has to punt it away to Ed. Early second quarter, tied at 7. Linebacker Tim Hightower. Dennis calls run as a linebacker there. Notice he kept the free safety home. Guess right is a 1-yard gain. I've come around to thinking I really don't like to vacate long pass when I call run. I've come around to thinking that way. But if you're going to run key, you have to. But I really choose my spots with that. It's like a bad. I just don't want to give you guys one pass, no man wrong anymore. Linebacker to Tim Hightower. Defense calls pass. Linebacker there, no draw. And 11 is an 8-yard gain in Hightower's card. One of the better results, actually the second best one. It says a lot if your second best reading is wrong is for 8 yards. I'm just saying. Ed might win the championship as I criticized Tim Hightower all night long. 3rd and 1 for the commissioner from his own 36. And Carlos Hyde checks in. You can run, but you can't hide, but you can have Hyde on your team. He's going to have a very good card in the upcoming set, it looks like. So, I think Ed's got Hyde on multiple teams. So, Cousins and Hyde, it's going to be tough. And then, Ed happens to coach great defense also. I don't even know what his personnel looks like, so this team looks like, they'll still have enough to be in the mix. Ed's usually in the mix, that's for sure. 3rd and 1. Ed will take his time occasionally with a call, but this seems a little lengthy. I'm getting worried that we've lost something here. Oh, the broadcast booth looks full. Looking past Carlos Hyde, defense run king, so this should be good for Ed. The Hyde's not even close to max, so the flat wrong. And 7's a short gain, complete for 14 yards on a first down. Wide die 6 anyway. Dennis does have a 6, a left inside. It's Navarro Bowman, I believe. It's Carlos Dansby. Bowman must be on Ed's team. But it's a 1st and 10 for the commissioner. His own 47, long pass, Malcolm Floyd. No man there. Defense calling pass, a 5 in single coverage. Let's see what happens here. And a dump ball for a short gain and a big pickup of 17 yards as Kirk Cousins checks it down to Anthony Fasano underneath. And Fasano found plenty of real estate in front of him and gained 17 for a first down to the Seattle 36. 11:24 to go in the first half. One pass to Laney Walker being double-teamed, pure double-teamed by Eric Weddle. Another dump ball for 7 yards. And the dump off hurting Dennis now. It was a 7-on-7, Volmer versus Wolf with a 0 sack chance. Those 7s are just so devastating in pass protection. I mean, you have to have like a max guy with all kinds of blitzes to get a good-looking sack chance. Long pass, Malcolm Floyd being successfully double-teamed on 2nd and 3. Ed's already had 2 or 3 dump-offs this drive. And there's another one. This is 6 yards and a first down to Hightower. There was no linebacker blitzing there, so the lack of pressure is allowing Cousins to check down underneath and find secondary receivers for good yardage and first downs as the 49ers have now reached the Seattle 23-yard line. 10-12 to go in the first half. We're tied at 7. Linebacker Tim Hightower. Dennis Cole's run correctly again. Good for him. And that's the 5-yard gain on the defense's card. Dennis, I'm sure, lamenting that first play from scrimmage, double teaming Steve Smith, leaving Delaney Walker alone against a 4, and through the bomb to Walker. Defender extra long gain for 57 yards. 2nd and 5 for the Niners at the Seattle 18, 9:36 to go. Short pass, Malcolm Floyd. Defense gets his pass, 3 men there. He can get in the end zone if he catches it on his card. You want something low. His receiver gets right. 21 yards, touchdown, Malcolm Floyd. There it is. Floyd only 16-22, but every one of them got you those 18 yards or more to get in the end zone there. Guys do like to throw to these big average receivers once they crack the 20. Try and get in the end zone. You know, if you're in that neighborhood from the 19 to the 14 or something like that. And that's what Ed did right there, and it worked for him despite the guest right call. 14-7 Ed. 9:18 to go in the first half. And the kick goes down to the 1-yard line for Dwayne Harris, who has the 3 touchdown on kick returns. It's 2 on the punts. And it's a 23-yard return out to the 24. There you see excellent opponent kick coverage for Ed from Caleb Sturgis. 17-14. I have that inverted. 14-17 and 12. 1st and 10 Dennis at his own 24. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Frank Gore in there. It's been blocking back, 1 halfback for both of these coaches. Both playing 3-4 defenses. Off tackle right to Frank Gore. Pass with no linebackers in zone. Gore pops a short gain at his goal, 13 yards and a first down. Frank the Tank with 12 units of short gain or better. And he's done a very, very fine job for Dennis this postseason. He may have had him in some, so also he's had Frank Gore in a few leagues. Sort of his post-Marshawn Lynch running back. 8:24 to go. Over left to Russell Wilson, guessed correctly. It's a 3-yard gain for Russell. His end run wrong card is not quite as good as last year, but that's still pretty good. 2nd down to 7. 7:48 to go. Dennis had his own 40. That was Russell's first carry of the game. So Melvin Ingram's on Ed's team. Short pass, Jimmy Graham being successfully double teamed, but Russell threads the needle on his own card. 5 right, wrong, and double teams, 12 yards, and a first down for the diminutive Seattle quarterback. Oh, we have to take a shot to the San Francisco 48. Dennis won't like that on the rebroadcast. Although he may only watch it if he wins. I don't know how many people watch the entire loss if they lose. 14-7. And right left for Russell, guess wrong. No linebackers there. Offensive onside guard 8-3, and the block is made by, of course, Kalichi Osemele, who is a 6'7". And we've got a second down and 2 for Seattle at the San Fran 40. They trail 14-7. They're trying to drive again. They are driving. They're trying to score a touchdown again and tie this game up. And did get the ball to start, so it'll be Dennis receiving the kick when the third quarter rolls around. But we got quite a bit of football before then. On tackle left to Frank Gore. Guess correctly. Defensive end +2 or +9. Michael Johnson makes the play, but the 2 yards is enough for a first down. And Dennis gets a new set of downs at the San Francisco 38-yard line. Michael Reeves joining us. Look at this. Bob's here. A lot of guys here. Good to see that. First down and 10 for Dennis at Ed's 38. 6 minutes to go in the first half. 2 titans of the Somifa family of leagues. Always a tough game when you got them on the schedule. Off tackle left to Frank Gore. Guess correctly. Nose tackle, no gain. Benny Logan 5 and a 5. I think Benny goes from being a nose tackle 5 to like a defensive tackle 4 next year. That really sucks if you have him. I have to double check that, but I think that's right. I think Philly went 4-3 last year. Yeah, because it was the first year of the new coach, because Chip was the year before. Chip was in San Francisco, Chip Kelly. Short pass to Martavis Bryant. Defense double teaming elsewhere and leaving a 6 in single coverage. Picked off 2 to 4, 11 and 12, but it's a first down. 12 yards and a completion on the short pass 3 men. Again, this is average. So that interception split is a completion. Ed would have had to guess correctly or move his safety up to force an incompletion there. But as I said, free safety Rashad Jones was double teaming elsewhere. First and 10 for the Seahawks. They're at the San Francisco 26. 4:48 to go. Short pass Martavis Bryant. Defense again double teaming elsewhere. Dump off for 9 yards. Now here's what Dennis is doing. He's saying, I noticed that you're not double teaming Bryant. I know Bryant's not maxed out, but you're not blitzing. I got good pass protection. Russell's got the must runs. Guess right. You give me 3-minute zone. I got dump offs in play. I got must runs in play. You know, that's a pretty good play, I think. And my spreadsheets would probably tell you similarly. Well, usually I only like to throw to the maxed receivers against the 6s if I can help it. But, you know, you can't be getting double teamed all the time, so you got to throw to sometimes guys who are covered by a good defender. Linebacker Frank Gore gets a short yardage in 2nd and 1, but it's 8 on the defense for 3 yards and a first down. Frank's got 35 yards and 8 carries and a touchdown. And it's a first down and 10 for Dennis at San Francisco's 14-yard line, 3:36 to go. So no matter what happens here, Ed should get the ball with about 2 minutes to play in the first half. Dennis would love to get this touchdown, tie the game. Knows he still has to stop Ed after this possession before he can get the ball back to start the third quarter. Short pass to Jimmy Graham. Defense got 4 minutes on this time and picked off 2 to 6 and 12, but incomplete. And decided to go away from the double team and go for the 4-minute zone. As Dennis was having some success with the short passing on this drive, both in terms of completions and dump-offs. Haven't seen a must-run from Russell yet, but I'm pretty sure we will at some point. 2nd and 10, short pass. Kyle Juszczyk gets wrong, 4 men there. Juszczyk covered by 6. 9 and Russell's caught complete. 11 yards and a first down for the Niners, down at the San Francisco 3-yard line. First and goal, full house all the way for both of these men. 6-5-5, left to right is your offensive line blocking for Dennis. Ed's got a nose tackle, 5, right inside 0-4. And left inside 5-6, Navarro Bowman. Dennis has got Gore, rolls, and Juszczyk with, of course, Russell Wilson. Linebacker Russell Wilson loses 2 yards on a 12. I don't think I've ever seen that in many, many years. The linebacker has right 12 for a loss of 2. I can't remember when I've seen that last, but it's been a long, long time. Not that I've never seen it, but, you know, I can't remember seeing it. That's how long it's been. 2nd and goal for the 5. Dennis stays full house. The clock's down to 2:06. You get on the other side of the 2-minute warning. You might see Ed call timeouts. It's a little conservative, though. Doesn't want to We seem most primarily concerned about not giving up points. So full house again. Defense shows blitz. Let's see if Dennis throws it. It's so tough to figure Dennis out. I think he probably will either throw it or do an M run with Russell. It seems a little crazy from the second and goal from the 5, but just the thought of Russell sprinting around the corner into the end zone could be very appealing for Dennis. Emmer left Thomas Rawls, defensive end -2 or +3, and it's a 2-yard loss. Michael Johnson's a 5. 5 and a 5 makes the play. There was a linebacker there, and Dennis goes from first and goal to 3 to third and goal at the 7. Now let's see if he can get a touchdown here. This is the play to do it. I would be intrigued if Dennis got 6 yards if he would go for fourth and goal at the 1. I would like to the answer to that question. Blocking back halfback with the pistol formation. A lot of people don't realize, you can use your linebacker as a double team. You get those third and goal, especially 8 or 9 yards to go. But here you got to worry about Russell's end runs. Frank Gore maybe off tackle. Dennis likes to run the ball. He's thrown it to Juszczyk. Maybe drop an inside linebacker to Jimmy Graham, but no. Maybe. I thought that was a play call, but it was just a formation selection. It goes nickel 3-3-5 blitz, so less likely to see the linebacker double team here. I think you'll see the inside at the middle, the outside on the outside, and you'll see a safety double team on one guy. Instead, it's a safety blitz. Short pass, Michael Floyd still has a 4-minute zone. Must run 8 yards, touchdown, Russell Wilson. I don't like that defensive call for Ed. He's a great defensive coach. But Dennis got really good pass blocking. I'd rather seen a double team or two, and partly for that reason, to try to get off of Russell's must-run column. But Ed went for the blitz, and he got the must-run on Russell, 7-yard touchdown. And it's a tie game at 14, 1:45 to go. The kickoff goes 9 yards deep, and Ed takes a knee. And in one of the other playoff games, Ed had the ball in a spot like this and got very conservative. Let's see what he does here. Well, he'll probably run it with Hightower because Dennis is going nickel 3-3-5. Maybe then run it at 0. Although we all know that Dennis likes the blitz. Probably go to Linebook. And you can let him have it. There it is, Linebook Hightower. Defense double teaming all over the place, blitzing a guy. That's a double-double. 7 or 8 is in play in the defense, that's for sure. 3 is a 6-yard gain on Hightower. He's got 8 carries for 39 yards. And there you see Ed not calling a timeout. Don't even think he hurried up. But it's only 2nd and 4 at your own 26, so I can see that. Maybe get another first down, then maybe you thought thinking about trying to make something happen. I've been paying a little more attention to this at times. I think I'm maybe too aggressive in calling timeouts early. Just thinking, well, of course I'm going to get first downs with the ball, right? Why would I do that? Linebacker Tim Hightower, defense gets the path as a linebacker there. And no draw call from Ed there. Guess wrong on Hightower's guard, 7 yards and a first down. Hightower does have 24. Trying to find something nice to say about him. 23 units of 5 yards or better. Guess that's okay. We have the new 5+ yard column in the ratings disc, courtesy of Mike Kane. And there was no timeout called there, even though it's got 3 timeouts, and now he just got a first down. Linebacker Hightower gets wrong again. Offensive center +10+2. Alex Max, a 6. 10 yards for the Niners at 43. Now you'll see Ed do a hurry up or a timeout, I hope. I'm sure, I should say. There it is. It says, I'm going to wait until I know for sure I got something going on here before I start throwing around my timeouts. That's probably the better way to do it. Probably a little too greedy / optimistic there. 45 seconds to go and 2 timeouts. Tied at 14 here for the SSFA Championship. Each man has one SSFA title, I believe. And they're going for this second. Looking past the Hightower. Defense gets it past. This will be guessed wrong. So, and with no man in zone. So it should get across midfield. There's a short gain in Cousins' card. 12 yards. Nice call by Ed. He may have to call timeout. He may have to hurry up here, but decided to sneak in that looker, and it worked out. Ed usually has a decent kicking game. as he calls timeout. 37 seconds left. I always mess this up. I try to look at the kicker and I miss a play. Nickel 3-3-5. Then staying with his sixes on the line of scrimmage, though, not bringing in that right end 0. Doesn't want to give up that plus 11 or plus 47 on a 2. One pass, only one man there. 5 safety, 5 corner. And Cousins goes down from the pass rush. Michael Bennett Jr., playing left end as a 9, gets past Ricky Wagner, the Baltimore offensive tackle. It was a 1-53 chance once that was the matchup. And a big 8-yard sack creates second down and 18 for Ed. And he's figured out what to do with the clock. As I look at the wrong team, of course. I think it's Caleb Sturgis. I don't think he's particularly good very deep. He's 2-5, 33-37. So you really want to get down to 32. Well, the variable does help you, but you'd like to talk about the 30. You'd like to target the 30-yard line to feel real good about it. That's 23 yards away, 15 seconds and 1 timeout. There's a draw to Hightower. Defense calls pass. He only has 1 timeout left, so he's looking open to pop an 8 or a 9. Gains 5 yards. He might let the clock run down now and say, forget it. I don't know. You call timeout here. Maybe you throw a flat pass, get a white tie 6. Get out of bounds, get up close. Worst case scenario, I guess you'd have to punt it to Dwayne Harris, and you're trying to punt it out of bounds, and he returns it on a 2. That's a lot to go bad against you. So, yeah, it calls a timeout. I'd probably go with a flat pass here and a 9-6. Or you could, throw a bomb. Hail Mary, if you'd like. If it's complete, you get a field goal. You get a 22-yard flat pass. That's not very likely, but it's a pretty safe play. Dennis goes dime 3-2-6. Wonder how far out Anthony Fasano can go. I do have a bit of a cold, so I've been sick actually for about a week. I don't know why. It just won't go away. So forgive me. It's a short pass to Stephon Diggs. He's double teamed by the linebacker. Ed needs a dump off here. There is no rush on. Double teamed complete on Cousins' card for 10 yards. But it does not look like Diggs was able to get out of bounds there. And it's a white die 5, so it is actually not out of bounds. Dennis taught me something I didn't know, which is 135 is out of bounds, 246 isn't. So that's the half. Ed needs a 3-minute break. So set your clock to that. Your watch, rather. We're tied at 14 for the SSFA Super Bowl. Yes, we got Kurt Retzlaff, Michael Reeves, Curtis Sprangers joined the group and they left the chat. Bob Franklin, maybe that's A2A Bob, perhaps. Michael Reeves, Nathan's here. Oh, these people clicked on the chat. Okay. Oh, I am glad that this is a fairly quickly coached game. I'm a little under the weather. I'm not my usual self, but the adrenaline gets you going. How many of you guys follow the news? The independent prosecutor announced the impaneling of a grand jury regarding his investigation of potential collusion and any other matters. And I guess there would have to be legal contacts between President Trump's campaign and Russia / representatives of the Russian government. People viewed that as a big step, but you can't, you don't convene a grand jury unless you're hoping to get looking to get some indictments, I suppose. Against who and exactly for what, that all remains to be seen. So, well, I follow the news pretty closely, so we'll see what happens. This story is not going away anytime soon, I'll tell you that much. So, probably the next 6 to 8 months will probably be the key time for this story. Don't want to get too opinionated with the politics. I know we have people on the right and people on the left. And what's nice is football is right down the middle. Who cares? If you don't like Trump, he's not going to ruin your football. If you love Trump, well, crack a beer and enjoy your football anyway. Certainly a divisive time in the country, and we could use a lot more understanding and acceptance and tolerance of each other and respectfulness of each other. I think that's what bothers me a lot. Both sides, I think, are to blame for that in equal measure. And even if one is more, it doesn't matter. You should still treat the other people's views with respect and try and talk to them about the issues, not make it a personal thing that you're wrong because of this. But, you know, country's doing pretty well over the last couple hundred years, both with the right and left, with Democrats or Republicans in charge. So keep that in mind. 1st and 10 for Seattle as we start the second half. Long pass by Tavis Bryant gets wrong. There is a man there, but he's only at 4. Then his first foray deep is almost picked off. 2 to 6 and 12, or an incompletion, and 8's an incompletion. We have a 2nd down and 10 for Seattle. Here in the second play of the third quarter, 14-14, a half of football for the SSFA championship. Emmer left for Thomas Rawls. Defense calls run. It is a 3-yard loss for Rawls. I'm sure there was something good guessed wrong. It was a 3-yard gain, actually. It was not that good guessed wrong. And it's a 3rd and 13. Ed's defense done a pretty good job. Dennis has 14 points. It's a good offense with Wilson and Rawls and the pass blocking and the receivers. So there's been a good game both ways. 3 wide, 1 fullback, pistol formation, dime 3-2-6, as is Ed's want. On 3rd and long, stays 5-5-5 with the defensive line, so no pass rushing specialists. I just don't seem that helpful in this league. I think they're more helpful in on a win where you run into worse pass blocking. I think they would know all about that. I'm sure. Short pass from Tavis Bryant. 4 men in zone. It's a must run for Russell Wilson. 14 yards and a first down. Russell knowing exactly where he needs to get to. It's time to slide perfectly. I'm sure Dennis will tell you in great detail. And it's a first down for the Seahawks at their own 31. So you like to double against those must-running quarterbacks, give it those chances, but 3rd and 13 is only 2 to 4 for first down. Flat pass left to Thomas Rawls gets wrong. 3's a short gain on Russell's guard. 16 yards and a first down to Rawls. So Dennis goes from 3rd and 13 towards looking good up by midfield. 1st and 10, still on his own end of the field. Look how quickly Dennis is clicking now, that the offense is maybe moving. Maybe now some thought behind it. And we're left to Thomas Rawls. Defense gets his run. 8 is a -6. And he gets the goosh, as my old friend Tim likes to say. 2nd down and 16. Ed applying the goosh to Thomas Rawls on that one. And that's what a kid do, a goosh, like in slow motion. 2nd and 16 for Seattle, their own 41. As my volume goes down, that's usually when somebody comes in. That happens occasionally. 14-14 here in the second half. Early third quarter. Off tackle left, Thomas Rawls. Dead calls run on 2nd and 16. And it's a 4-yard gain for Rawls. Would have only been 5. Guess wrong. People thinking that that's what Dennis likes to do, the end runs to Russell. So Dennis may start looking to throw some flat, short, or long passes in some of those situations to get people out of that habit they're getting into of calling run against them on 2nd and long when he likes to run. 3rd and 12 for Seattle at their own 45. They converted the 3rd down a few plays ago. 3rd and 13 on a Russell Wilson must run. Let's see what else they got up their sleeve. Ed brought his safety up into looking last time. Kept all of the linebacker zone good to go and did not double team. Now, again, only 2 to 4 is a first down on Russell's car, but if he gets 8 yards or something, Dennis might go for it. Long pass to Zach Miller. Defense double teaming elsewhere. No man in zone. Miller's covered by a 4. Dump off. Incomplete on Russell's car looking for Juszczyk. And it's going to be 4th and 12 for Seattle. They'll punt it from their own 45 with Trey Way. Yes, Way. Block punt in play. And this punt is a boomer. It's a coffin corner. How did Dennis know to go coffin corner from his own 46? Well, I guess 6 is 50 yards, whatever, that makes sense. And he got a beauty, 50-yard out of bounds to the 5-yard line, and that's where Ed will take over. His first possession of the second half, 14-14, 11:06 to go in the third quarter. Carlos Hyde, the running back now for Ed for the first time on early downs. I believe Hyde and Powell are unlimited in the second half. And had a 57-yard completion to Delaney Walker on the first play of the game from scrimmage when Dennis double-teamed elsewhere, and you saw the safety 4 had some trouble. Linebacker Carlos Hyde, no linebackers there, double box in play. Hyde's got a pretty solid running card, guess wrong. And he hits the dreaded 5, no gain. It says that's why I use Hightower. He did not hit the dreaded 5. Interesting. Hightower getting used so often by this team. And then Bilal Powell checks in. He's got the 6-7 short gain and off tackle wrong. 2nd and 10 for the commish at his own 5. Dennis would just love to lay out for a sack here, but off tackle right to Bilal Powell gets wrong. No linebackers there. And hoping for his own card, 6 and 7 at a minimum. And hits the 8 on his own card, 6 yards. 3 is also plus 23. So he got 6 and 7 short game, and only one other roll for that type of yardage or better. But a lot of solid yardage otherwise. And Ed brings containment to set up a 3rd and 4 from his own 11. And this will be a big 3rd down. Dennis should get the ball in very good position. If Ed's forced to punt it, Dennis has got a decent return game going here. He might end up with the ball right about his own 49. Linebacker Tim Hightower. Defense calls pass. 1 linebacker in zone. Big 3rd and 4 for the commish. And he gets the 5-yard gain on the defense's card despite the defender being in the zone. And it's a new set of downs for Ed a little further upfield at his own 16. That was Vinny Ray. Was the inside linebacker in the zone. He's a 4-4. Carlos Dansby is the 6-4 left inside linebacker. Looking past the Bilal Powell. Defense calls run. Linebacker 6 in zone. Dansby. And it's a 1-yard completion. Dansby preventing further damage. Kirk Cousins is 13 of 15 for 151. I just realized that. It's been mostly flat passes, it feels like. But he hit some short passes early, and he hit, of course, the big bomb that I keep alluding to on the first play of the game. And we're almost midway through the third quarter. I'm really looking to crown a champion here tonight. Linebacker Bilal Powell, defense guesses correctly. 1 linebacker in zone, only a 1-yard gain. You have to do that against Ed. You have to call a fair amount of run in 1st and 2nd down because he likes to run it, and you will suffer if you just try and sit there and guess pass against Ed. When he's on offense. 3rd and 8 for Ed at his own 18. 8:06 to go. Like I say these things, but the good coaches always adapt. So, if Ed starts seeing people call run against him, he's going to adapt. He's going to make you pay. I mean, that's one of the reasons he threw a bomb to start the game to Bilal Powell. Flat pass right to Tim Hightower. No linebackers there. Guessed wrong on 3rd and 8. This is bad news for Dennis. He doubled and flooded covered 2 of the zones. And sure enough, it's a short gain on the defense of 14 yards of the first down. White die 6 anyway. But always dangerous if you leave a flat open and don't put 5 guys on the line of scrimmage on 3rd and long. You are leaving yourself open to a good chance of a first down happening. 1st and 10 for San Francisco at their own 32. Linebacker Bilal Powell. Defense gets his pass. It's a 5-yard run. Alex Mack makes all the blocks. He's a 6, which would make sense. It's tough to make all the blocks if you're not a 6. I found that out. 2nd and 5 for the Niners at their own 37. Carlos Hyde. So you see Hyde and Powell alternating a lot so far here in the second half. Emron left to Carlos Hyde. He's got a good Emron card. There is a defensive in 6 there, Derek Wolf. But 7 is a 6-yard gain on Hyde. It's a very solid Emron card. Also, the fumble minimum of 3.0. Pretty bad Emron right card. -7, M -6 on a 5 and 6. But Ed's got 1st and 10 at his own 43. This drive started at his own 5. He may soon be across midfield. Linebacker Bilal Powell. So that's guessing maybe a little too much pass now. Walking back +3 or +1, only a 1-yard gain. Anthony Fasano was only a 4 against the white die 6. 4-5 blocking for Fasano, so he's a 5 pass block. I see the run block first because I'm old school. Linebacker to Bilal Powell. Defense gets his pass, 1 linebacker. Offensive right guard +7 and +2. That Spencer Long is only a 4, so it's a 2-yard gain. You would have had to be a 6. You would have had to have been a 6 to make that block. 3rd and 7 for the Niners at their own 46. 5:06 to go. Big 3rd down chance. A long pass to Malcolm Floyd being correctly double-teamed. Ed has hit a lot of dump offs in the first half. Double-team completion on Cousins' card. 27 yards. Oh, those are killers. You hate to watch it even if you're just watching the game. The long pass double-team completion on the quarterback's card. And it's on 3rd and 7 for 27 yards and a first down in the Super Bowl late in the 3rd quarter of a tie game. Oh, I hate those. It's like maybe if I could choose one thing to take out of the game, please, I don't want to see it anymore. I hate when they happen to me. Don't take it out of the game, I'm just saying. Long pass to Steve Smith, guessed correctly, incomplete. You get the long pass right, the long pass correct double team completion on the quarterback's card. When that happens to you and you're on defense, oh, what a killer. And what happened to the offense, you certainly know you got away with a lot. You get a little sheepish. 2nd and 10 for the Niners at the Seattle 27. That hurt. Still hurts. Linebacker Bilal Powell. There you go. Dennis calls run. Got a linebacker in zone. Offensive right guard 7 and 2, but Spencer Long again fails to make the block. White die 5. 3rd and 8. So Dennis, going with the 2nd and 10 run call there. Like I said, Ed likes to run it 1st and 2nd down. I'm not saying he gets run every single time, but maybe you got to get run a little more than you do against most people. 3rd and 8 for the Niners. 3 wide, 1 halfback with a shotgun for the commissioner. Nickel 3-3-5 in defense. Short back to Lenny Walker. Dump off is good for 7 yards to Stephon Diggs, just short of a first down. So Ed's got 4th and 1 from the 18. Caleb Sturgis looking over at his head coach. Coach, do I go in? Yes. Sturgis will try a 35-yard attempt. It's got to be at least 2 to 9. I'm hoping 2 to 10. It's 2 to 9 and 12. The variable did not go to a different range. So Ed settles for the field goal on 4th and 1 to make it 17-14. Dennis breathes a sigh of relief, and the kick goes 1 yard deep into the end zone for Jeff Janis. I think he's had a really good card. He does, but he hits 17 yards to the commissioner, but it wise him to take it out because Janis has got 70 yards on 2, and 6 is 31 yards, more to the point. You got to take it out because of the 2. You take it out because of the rest of that card. They're losing some field position there, but it was the right move. And Dennis is down by a field goal off tackle right to Thomas Rawls. Defense gets the pass. No linebackers there. Blocking back +7 or +5. 5-yard gain for Rawls. White die 6 trumps Kyle Juszczyk's 5 run blocking. Rawls has 9 carries, 36 yards. Only 6 unfatigued carries left. Frank Gore will continue to be sprinkled into the game. And if necessary, become the lead back at some point in the 4th quarter. 17-14 Ed, late 3rd quarter. 2nd and 5 for Dennis at his own 21. Left tackle left to Rawls, guessed correctly, loses a yard. Conversely, Ed, both these coaches calling a fair amount of run. Look, if a guy has a good running game, you're not going to call run against him. It's kind of hard to stop him. That could happen, but, understandably, we're all concerned about the pass. I mean, the flat pass wrong is like an automatic first down practically sometimes, it seems like. So it's tough to play defense in the modern era. Easier in the league with no dump off, that's for sure. I hate no dump off in the modern game. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like you're playing the modern football. 3rd down and 6 for Seattle. Flat pass left to Thomas Rawls. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Linebacker in zone, extra short game, but Melvin Ingram is only a 4. And he makes the play. Melvin was only a 4. That could have been a short gain on 2/3 of the plays. Dennis has to punt it. That was a big stop there by Ingram. And the punt goes down to about the 32 for TJ Carey. He returns to 7 yards on the coverage. 7-8-12. The opponent punt return card. And Ed regains possession of the ball with the lead. And we're nearing the end of the third quarter. 36 seconds left. Commissioner leads 17-14. The SSFA title at stake. Carlos Hyde, the running back. Ball pass back and Floyd gets wrong. There is a man there. 5 safety, 5 corner. And 7 is incomplete on Cousins' card. 2-5 is what you want. 6 is the receiver. And Malcolm Floyd is maxed out. Guess deep? He's maxed out deep. I told you, I'm a little under the weather. Oh. So that's my excuse. So we'll probably have Dennis in the postgame, win, lose, or draw. Well, he can't draw. We're going to lose. Short pass, Anthony Visano. 2nd and 10 for the Niners. And 9 in Cousins' card is incomplete. This will set up a big 3rd and 10 as we start the fourth quarter. Commissioner Ed Burrow leading Dennis Crowley, 17-14. SSFA title at stake. Ed lost the SAMHSA final in a heartbreaking fashion in the final minutes. Dennis was 16-0 in SAMHSA and lost to the semifinal. These guys saying, all right, fine, I'll just get my championship in SSFA, but only one of them can do it right now. Let's see who will grab that coveted SSFA title. 3rd and 10. Big play here. You just know if you're Dennis, the way things have gone, if Ed gets his first down, he's like, damn it, he's going to come down and score now. Long pass, Steve Smith, single coverage against the 5. Defense triple doubling elsewhere. There are no blitzers at play. Dump off is a danger for Dennis. And we'll punt if he doesn't get the first down. Receiver in play. And receiver gets right as Steve Smith is hit for a long gain on 7. 45 yards. Steve Smith with a 45-yard gain. Long pass, no man gets right. And you've got 15 units of receiver column there. There was a 5 there. It was a white die 6, though. And it looked like Smith was about 12-18 there in the bomb. It happened so quickly. He's maxed out, 15-21. He's got 2 maxed out receivers. Doesn't throw that many bombs because he likes to run it. But when he does, it's dangerous. So he's got 1st and 10 at the Seattle 16. Off tackle left, Carlos Hyde. 1 linebacker there. Hyde is short gains on the card. And he pops one short gain towards the end zone. Tackle just short of it. Carlos Hyde popping one of his 8 units of short gain on the off tackle wrong. It's 14 yards, and it's 1st and goal for Ed at Dennis's 2-yard line. Ed hit the long pass double team completion to set up a field goal. Hits the 3rd and 10 long pass right receiver on Steve Smith for 45 yards. And now he's got a chance to go up by 10 points on Dennis Crowley. Look, these guys are 2 of the best coaches online. Short pass, Stephon Diggs against 3 men. Defense run king Tim Hightower versus the full house. Cousins find Diggs, short touchdown, 2 yards, 23-14 Ed. 24 if he makes the extra point. And Dennis has got his work cut out for him with 13:30 to go. Caleb Sturgis, 2-11, makes that extra point. 24-14 Commissioner. And Dennis is really good at coming back, and he's really good at everything. Really, as a coach, he's a really good coach. Is a point. But he's gonna have to get his thinking cap on. This one goes down to the goal line for Jeff Janis, who will surely take it from there. And he fumbles 12 yards. A fumble, who recovers, and Dennis recovers his own fumble. Actually, there was no fumble because it has to be 1-4 in the white die. But it's still a 12-yard return, the worst you could have possibly gotten. And then this is comeback effort. Cancel. Will have to be mounted from his own 12-yard line. Aaron Wright, Thomas Rawls, even if he guesses correctly, 6, no gain. So just because you're up by 10 early in the fourth quarter doesn't mean you always have to call pass every time. It was a short gain, it's wrong, and you got Thomas Rawls and Russell Wilson out there. That's going to anger Dennis. You can see him start throwing downfield a little bit, I suspect. 2nd and 10 for Seattle from their own 12. Long pass by Tavis Bryant. There's nobody there. Single coverage against the 6. 5 and Russell's guard is incomplete. 3rd down and 10. Seattle throwing 12. All right, can I make a first down now on 3rd and long? That's what Dennis is saying, because I really freaking need one. Russell's only 9 of 18 for 87 yards. 3 wide, 1 fullback, pistol formation. Ed goes dime, 3-2-6. So short pass to Jimmy Graham, 4-minute zone. Receiver gets right, 13-yard completion to Graham. 1, 3, 6, 11, 16, 19, 26 for the former Saint. And Dennis gets a desperately needed first down with 11:42 to go. Still very much in his own territory, at his own 25. Long pass, Michael Floyd gets wrong. He's maxed out. 9 on Russell's card is incomplete. As I said, Dennis is down by 10. He knows that he saw Ed Cole run like 2 minutes ago. And he says, I'm not going to let him claw run against me without making him fret about some of these downfield opportunities. Also brought us to shake it away from calling run so that he could do some runs with Russell and Thomas Rawls. 2nd and 10 for Seattle at their own 25, but could not get it that time. That's a game changer. They're down by 10, 11:30 to go. Long pass run to a maxed out guy. Only a 4 safety back there. Come on, give me something, but didn't happen. Long pass, Michael Floyd again. Defense double teaming elsewhere, blitzing 3 guys. And down goes Russell Wilson, a big sack from the outside. Darrell Smith, who's only not a very good pass rusher, but the extra blitzes helped him. Made a 4 and a 7, 1-45 sack, 3rd and 21. And Dennis is in trouble now, as only 11:06 remains on the clock. Blocking back, halfback. Are these guys particularly bad? There's an Emerald left for Thomas Rawls. Ingram's only a 5. Short gain is 10 yards. Dennis would like to get more than that, so 4th and 11 from his own 24. He'll have to punt it. Trey Way punted 52 yards, down to about the 26-yard line for Keith Mumphrey. Or the 24-yard line, rather. And Mumphrey signals for a fair catch. There's been nothing terribly notable happening in the return game tonight on punts. We have a 1st down and 10 for Ed at his own 24. Carlos Hyde is in there. Him and Hightower have the minimum fumble number. I don't think Bilal Powell fumbles too much either in this card set. The commissioner trying to win another championship. Linebacker Carlos Hyde. Defense calls run. 1 linebacker there. Offensive center plus 10 to plus 3. Alex Mack makes the big block. And Ed moves upfield and gains another 1st down and takes some more time off the clock. 9:36 to go. Commissioner leads by 10. So Hyde's got plenty of carries. He's only used 5 so far. Well, he's got 9 more. And we're right to Carlos Hyde. Defense calls pass, double teaming Delaney Walker. There's a defensive end 6 there. It's offensive onside end plus 2 or minus 1. Walker is a 5, makes a block for 2 yards. I think he's a 6 next year. Him and Charles Clay, 2 guys you did not used to think of as blocking tight ends, but the PFF grades are there. The strat rating is there. That certainly makes them a lot more appealing there. Delaney Walker's already excellent. Linebacker Carlos Hyde in 2nd and 8, 9 minutes to go. 1 linebacker there, guess correctly. Alex Mack again, offensive center plus 10 and plus 3. Have we ever had a center be the MVP of the Super Bowl? Because Alex Mack is getting the job done right now. And it is a 1st down and 10 for Ed. 8:24 to go at his own 46. There is no way to defend an offensive center reading. Zeb Strong will tell you that as well. Linebacker to Carlos Hyde. Double box and play. Defense guesses pass. And it's a 2-yard pickup on Hyde's card. I mean, Dennis is always there, seemingly, in all these finals and semifinals. And he wins a fair share of them, that's for sure. 2nd down and 8 for the Niners. They're on 48. Dennis needs to stop and needs it soon. Linebacker Carlos Hyde into short yardage. Dennis says, please no, Alex back. Alex back again. Offensive set of 5-0. It's a 5-yard gain. Alex back for MVP. 3rd and 3 for the Niners at the Seattle 47. I can confirm that in the NFL, no center has ever won Super Bowl MVP. 3rd and 3 for Ed. Huge play here. What will he do? Ed needs a big play. What does he do? He brings in Tim Hightower, of course. Flat pass right to Hightower. Gets a short yardage. This should be good for Ed. 3rd and 3. Big 1st down upcoming. And linebacker zone extra short gain is a short gain as Bashad Breeland is nerfed down to a 4 by moving up in the short yardage. It's a 12-yard completion. And Kirk Cousins, 19 of 24, 258, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Alex Mack may have to concede the Super Bowl MVP trophy to him if the commissioner closes out this game and wins. And we've seen that can be easier said than done, as we saw in the Sounds for Super Bowl. It's 24-14. Short best defense, even double teaming elsewhere. 3 men there. 9 is incomplete in Cousins' card. So Dennis finally gets a favorable defensive play here on this possession. And Ed's got second down and 10. Caleb Sturgis, not much of a kicker from this range, but Ed only needs a few more yards to make it a more palatable option. Second down and 10. Emerald left, Carlos Hyde. Defense run king elsewhere. There's no linebackers there. An 8 would be a killer. 9's a 5-yard gain. So Ed moves into field goal range. The field goal will not ice this. It'll put it up by 13. And Dennis will need 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes. The final few minutes. But Kurt Retzlaff did it. So it certainly can happen. Got a good crowd here. Between me, the coaches, and the audience members, we got about 40% of the league involved in this game. 3rd and 5 for San Fran at the Seattle 30, leading 24-14. 5:42 to go. Blocking back halfback against the nickel 3-3-5. I don't like this right end being a 0 here. You're not likely to get a sack in this spot. Linebacker Tim Hightower. And then it's Ron Keys. Very nice. Offensive left guard +3 and -1. It's a loss of a yard, which can help because Ed's at the 31. The variable will be more impactful possibly. Here comes the field goal attempt, 48-yard attempt. It is good, 2 to 9 and 12. He stays within the normal range. And the kick is good, 27-14 Ed. Dennis will need 2 touchdowns to win this game. He'll have 4:48 to do it at all 3 timeouts. The kick goes 1 yard deep to the 1 back. Jeff Janis, who has a good return on 2. But Dennis keeps hitting the opponent kick return. And it's a 14-yard return. Had to bring that one out from 1 yard deep. And he's at his own 13. Only 4:30 to go. Ed goes nickel 3-3-5. Dennis desperate for some kind of big play. Or he could take his time. Try and score with about 2 minutes left and hopefully the onside kick. Oh, you hate to be in this position in the playoff game where you're desperate and you need a lot of luck. Off tackle left to Thomas Rawls. No linebackers there. 11 with the box. It's a 21-yard pickup. So Dennis stays on the ground and finally gets something going with Wreck-It Rawls. And he quick clicks. Try and generate that momentum. Blocking back 1 halfback. Commissioner still nickel 3-3-5. They don't want you to go hurry up, I don't think, at this point in the game. I should change that depending on the score. I mean, certainly Seattle would be hurrying up here. Unless maybe Andy Reid was coaching. Long pass, Michael Floyd, 2-man zone. Russell does a must run for 8 yards. Clock down to 3:18. Seattle's got 2nd and 2 at their own 42. Russell 6 carries, 38 yards. Doesn't have the 40 and 55-yard run like he had maybe the previous card set. Next year's will be worse, but if he's healthy, I think he might get a bounce back to at least something like this. 2nd down and 2. Seattle at their own 42. 3:42 to go. Emerald left, Russell Wilson. No linebackers there. 3 is an 8-yard gain, and Russell gets out of bounds, it looks like, on a white die 1. So maybe that's a no. I don't remember. I think Dennis said 1-3-5. You don't? So Seattle's at midfield, 2:42 to go. They trailed 27-14. Oh, can you imagine Ed lost 2 Super Bowls this way in the span of a week? Leading by double digits. Emerald left, Thomas Rawls. Offensive onside tackle, 5-0. It's a 5-yard gain for Rawls. White die 5. That does not get out of bounds. So it's a 2nd down and 5 for Seattle to San Francisco 45. Linebacker Frank Gore, 2:06 to go. Offensive center, 10-2. Turning back is fair play. Now Max Unger's only a 4. but he does his Alex Mack impersonation there. It's a 10-yard gain. First down, Seattle. At the 2-minute warning, they're at the San Francisco 35. Dennis needs 2 touchdowns. So that last field goal for Ed was big. Otherwise, Dennis can get a little closer, try a field goal first, and then try the onside kick and have timeouts. But he's got to go the whole way. He's got to get 35 yards, and the clock is very much a factor. You'd hate to have to recover the onside kick. I mean, it feels like that's what's going to happen, but maybe throw a bomb, try to get lucky. Emmer left, Thomas rolls. No linebackers there. Gets wrong. Edge drops 2 men deep. 8 to 7 yard gain of rolls card. Does not get out of bounds. The white die 3. 2nd and 3. Dennis go hurry up. We call timeout. He's at the 9:28. Tick, 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 tick. Dennis spikes the ball. Something he said you should almost never do. But here it's setting up a 3rd and 3. I can see what he's thinking. I think it's a good move. He goes blocking back, halfback against the nickel 3-3-5. Thomas Rolls is tired. He's only a 1 yard loss in the runs, and you have all those short gains still running on the outside. Haven't seen any flat passing. Emerald, that's what I was worried about. But it's a short gain, and Russell's caught in the end run. 14 yards and a first down for Dennis down at the San Fran 14. White day 1, no out of bounds. I was going to say I haven't seen a lot of flat passing, so Ed might feel more comfortable bringing up those outside linebackers to try to stuff the end run. And that's what he did, but Dennis hit his own card for Wilson's short gain. And Dennis saving all his timeouts, hurrying up, because he knows if he doesn't recover the onside kick, if he keeps his timeouts, he still has a chance. 1st and 10 for Seattle, the San Fran 14. Okay, you get in these spots. All you do is give yourself a chance. You might win. Is it unlikely? Yeah, but you got to still give yourself that chance. We saw it in the SSFA Super Bowl. It wasn't maybe quite as desperate as this, but it was close. Got to give yourself a chance, especially in a big game. Don't be cashing your chips in and eager to end the game and go eat your donuts or whatever you're doing. 1st and 10 for Seattle at the San Francisco 14. I was going to say nachos, but short pass to Michael Floyd. 4-minute zone, 2 blitzes on. Dump off for 7 yards and a completion inside the 10. And on a white day 4, hopefully that gets out of bounds. Looks like it didn't. There's a 1-24 sack chance. 2nd and 3 for Seattle at the San Fran 7. Might see a hurry up to get it to 1 minute. Might see a timeout. Say, what am I doing? I'm on time here. I hate to spike the ball here inside the 10. He goes hurry up. 2nd and 3 from the 7. Dennis says, I need a touchdown now. I think we'll see him throw the ball. Maybe the Jewish chick who's not likely to be double teamed. Keep those must runs in play. Russell already has 1 must run for a touchdown. Blocking back 1 halfback, nickel 3-3-5 blitz. You hate to do the end run in this spot when you know that there's a good chance the linebacker is going to be in the zone. And you want to run inside because you don't have the time for it. So maybe you got to throw. Martavis Bryant covered by a 6 has big yardage. Guys usually won't double team a guy like that in here. That's an option. Juszczyk, but he's thrown to Juszczyk before. Thomas Rolls, I think, can catch short. And he's not going to get double teamed. I think one of those guys, no. Sure, but Jimmy Graham, who is double teamed, incomplete. That would have been a must run if threw an undouble teamed guy. 3rd and 3 for Dennis at the San Fran 7. 52 seconds to go. He trails 27-14. Needs a touchdown and an onside kick. Still has Thomas Rolls in there. Defense showing blitz. That was a linebacker double team on Graham, I'm pretty certain. And why? Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, Dennis runs inside with the tired rolls and timeouts being an issue. Sure pass Michael Floyd. Defense calls run. Receiver gets wrong. Touchdown to Michael Floyd. Wilson hits Floyd for the 7-yard TD. And the extra point, which is important, would have been complete even on right, is good. It's 27-21. 37 seconds left. Onside kick. Ed says, can I please recover this one? I lost the SSFA Super Bowl this way. And Ed does recover the onside kick. Mike Remmers, the offensive tackle, because that's who you want out there on your hands team, is your slow offensive tackle. Recovers the kick for San Francisco. And with 30 seconds left, the Niners are leading the Seahawks 27-21. You're going to go 22-15-8. Dennis might get one play. 22-50. So I could have been taking either Cousins. That's going to take 3D. So it's second down 22. It'll be third down 15. It'll be fourth down 8. So he made the punt to Dennis with 8 seconds remaining. And Dwayne Harris has a punt return touchdown on 3. Of course, Ed's going to try to punt it out of bounds. But that's what Dennis's big hope is right now. He somehow avoids the out of bounds punt, gets a return for Harris, and it goes for a touchdown. Now, Ed could always go for it on fourth down and say, instead of punting to Harris, I'll make Dennis try to beat me with a 49-yard Hail Mary. I think I'd probably punt it. I don't know. I haven't looked at the math. So we can get one more knee here from Cousins and we get it. As Dennis takes his final timeout. 8 seconds left. 4th and 13 for Ed, his own 48. He's going to punt it with Bosch. He doesn't have a block on 12. He's got a block on 12. He's got a Harris touchdown on 3. Coffin corner attempt. Can it be returned? Let's see. It looks like it's going to go out of bounds, and it does. And Dennis has got one chance from his own 9-yard line. He's down 27-21. He's a 91-yard touchdown. I don't see Frank Wycheck out there. Throw the ball back to the other guy. The band's not on the field, so I don't think Cal Stanford's going to happen. Dennis clicking through all of his guys. We had the rules discussion on the forum about the dots. Many guys like Dennis make sure to get their dot guys because of this. Maybe I have bad luck to Dennis. I feel like he loses more of these playoff games that I called than he did before I started calling them. Just clicking through it all. What to do, what to do, what to do. I have nothing that's happening wrong. I guess he's double checking his backups, maybe. All right, he's made all the moves. Jimmy Graham can't go all the way, apparently. So it's got Zach Miller, tight end, got Michael Floyd, Martavis Bryant, and Kendall Wright. I don't think Kendall can go all the way. Kyle Juszczyk is the blocking back. Yes, Kendall Wright can go all the way. Yes. He's a long gain and a 2 or 12 for a touchdown. You can get a receiver, I guess, right even with 2-minute zone. He's a 91-yard touchdown to win the Super Bowl. It's a rough spot. That's for sure. Dennis did a great job with this team to get here. Both these guys did an excellent job. Obviously, you don't have to say it. We know what kind of coaches they are. You're talking Ed, you're talking Jay, you're talking Dennis, and all these guys who always seem to be here at the end, or often, very often. There's so many other good coaches. I'm not sliding anyone else. There's a lot of really good coaches out there. Dennis taking his time with this one. On past Zach Miller, defense double teaming elsewhere. They have 2 men there. He's elongating in Russell's card. I don't know where it is. I'm sure it's on the edges, as Dennis would say. So you're saying there's a chance. Dennis says, okay, at least I have a chance. Always so good-natured. He's getting ready to click, snap the ball. It's got 2 blitzes on. He needs a 3 on Russell Wilson's card and an edge. You need a 2 or a 12. It's a 6 on the defense's card with 2 men in zone. Incomplete. The game is over. And Ed Burrow, the commissioner extraordinaire, the man with savoir-faire. I've got a chest cold, and I'm trying to pronounce that. Savoir-faire is your SSFA champion, the once and future king. Jay Veerling's back-to-back dynasty trifecta opportunity was thwarted in a previous round. And these two guys did not have the best regular season. They got 10-6 and 10-5-1. They've had better regular seasons that did not get them to the Super Bowl. So it goes to show you what you can do if you get in the playoffs, even if you got to go on the road. Ed was pointing out that Dennis was saying that Ed killed him with the bombs, and Ed said, yeah, I hit almost every one. And during the season, Ed said he was not hitting those too often. And Kirk Cousins has been the choice for MVP by coaches' mutual decision. If you look at the stats, Ed outgained Dennis 380 to 286. The first downs were almost even, but look at this. Total offense, 4.9 yards to play for Dennis, 6.4 for Ed. There were no turnovers in the game. The field position seemed to hurt Dennis a little. That his average drive started at his own 18. Dennis started his average drive at his own 18. Ed started at his own 22. Dennis' passing game was particularly anemic. He was 32 of 183 on the ground, but Russell Wilson had a rough Super Bowl, going 12 of 25 for 114 yards and a touchdown with no interceptions. He did have 8 carries for 60 yards. Kirk Cousins, 19 of 25 for 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Santa says he's going to jump on with us, so we'll have that for you momentarily. As a 2015 card set is officially retired. Kurt Retzlaff, your SOMSA champion. Ed Burrow, your SSFA champion. The file's out. Hopefully the game will be out next week, maybe. There was the original date. We know last year Strat had delays. And if you're an autumn win, you're drafting less than a month from now. It's August 3rd, draft September 2nd. I got that date circled on my calendar. Got to wait a week longer for SMIFA. People eager to trade. And there we have him. And the legend, Dennis Crowley. Now, Dennis, where was Frank Wycheck on that last play from your own 9? You needed to run that play. I know that was a kick return, but, let him run up the right side and then turn around and throw it back to the guy, and then you get the touchdown. I don't know if you saw that game.
Yeah. I think Wycheck was our special teams coordinator. He messed up on that one.
Yeah, you may have to look into that. Yeah, we hear you well. You may have to look into that in the offseason. Cool. Get Pete Carroll to recommend someone. You guys are always doing tricky things, although preferably when you guys are already up by 28 points in the second half. So tough game. Tough game. It was weird. It's weird to say this in a 60-minute football game. But it felt almost like from the time he hit the opening bomb, it seemed like you were constantly playing catch-up. Did it seem that way to you at all, or is that wrong?
Well, I never took the lead. I did have the ball in a tie game, but I never got the lead. And like every time I was shooting at his 4 linebacker, the 4 would make the play. Or every time really, what did he hit, like 4 or 5 bombs? He was on fire. Every time he went deep, he seemed to get a good number. There was one time where he went deep and it hit an interception split, but I didn't get it. I mean, he out-yardaged me by almost 100 yards.
Yeah.
So, and then every time I went deep, even when I had 0 men or guessed wrong, I couldn't hit.
Yeah, so, it was a 2-9 and 12 interception split for Kirk Cousins on that interception early in the game, and he rolled a 10. And the real killer, of course, just in terms from a coaching standpoint and a morale standpoint, was the long pass double team completion on Kirk Cousins' card for 27 yards. Was that on a third down? I forget. Was that on a third down?
I think so. Third and 10.
It might have been a 3rd and 10. And then that was in the second half. Then also in the second half, he had the 3rd and long pass right, no men, receiver for Steve Smith for a long gain. And you just don't expect to give up like long pass right completions on 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 10. You just, guys throw them, but you just don't expect to give those up, and
right.
You did get beaten up with numerous bombs. Let me see if I can look and see how many. And this will only show, I think, 30 yards or more to get on the big play thing. Walker for 57, Steve Smith for 45. There was the 27-yarder on Cousins. So it was at least those 3 bombs.
But there were some other ones too, because maybe it was a receiver reading that wasn't over 30. But gosh, I remember it wasn't just 3 bombs, was it?
It might have been, but they were timely. I mean, look. Smith had 1 catch for 45 yards. Walker had 1 catch for 37 yards, and no one.
I guess so, yeah.
So, and I guess Floyd caught the 27-yarder. So it was 3 bombs, but one was for 57, and one was for 45.
Right.
And the other one was a double team completions. And it's not like he was throwing bombs every single play. Like you said, I mean, he probably hit at least 3 out of 5 bombs or 3 out of 6 bombs. He was hitting them at a pretty good clip. Whereas you said, you threw quite a few bombs, and your longest pass from scrimmage was only 16 yards. So, right. And for a while there, he was hitting you with dump offs as well. So, I mean, it was
there was one drive. It was like 3 or 4 dump offs.
Yeah,
I couldn't stop.
Yeah, it was just a tough game. It was just a tough, close, hard-fought game. You had some breaks going against you. This was like one of the closest matchups, I feel like.
Yeah, and
from someone watching the game, like looking at it, I didn't even feel like, oh, this guy has a better team, but he's not getting this or he's not getting that, or oh, this guy's in trouble because of this matchup. It was just like, no, these 2 teams are pretty kind of evenly matched. Did you feel that way? Dennis, we can't hear you now.
How about now?
Yeah, that works much better.
So I think one of the differences in the game, well, there's a couple things that I saw. He had that one drive where he called run, and I kept running it. That was brilliant. Great job by him. If I would have thrown deep on a couple of those, I think I threw deep on one of them and missed, maybe 2. But he was run when I wanted to run, and if I had, I couldn't get anything going there. So that got me a -6 or -3.
I think I know you like to look at the dice rolls and for what if I called a different play. I don't really do that, but because but you put it in my mind. I think the -6 was on an M run right on a 6 on rolls.
Right, that could have been a receiver reading.
Would have been a receiver reading. It might have been a no gain on rolls, but it would have been a receiver.
And then I had another one that was -3, and I think that
was early 4th quarter when you were down by 10.
Yeah,
right.
And then he did a couple of good things too with Fasano, where he knew in certain situations, like where I wanted to bring some pressure, and he could kind of feel I was going to bring Tom Bahali. He was throw to him, and then it was a defender X, and the defender wasn't there. And then
go ahead, Dennis.
Then the other thing too was the line bucks. I mean, he was line buck bomb, line buck bomb, line buck, and they kept running on 7 where it was Alex Mack just paving the way. So
yeah, I mentioned on the broadcast during the 4th quarter that at one point I said, Alex Mack might be the Super Bowl MVP. It's all like the Cousins stats. But
right.
He I think I don't know if it was when he was up by a field goal or whatever. but he hit like back-to-back like 10-yard gains on your card.
Right.
Both times I think you had a guy in zone. One of them might have been guessed correctly. Then when you like went short yardage, you hit Alex back for 5 yards on like a 3rd and 3 or something.
Right.
You know, and that center sixth was coming into play a lot. And that's one of the things. Like, you know, we're talking about roster construction for SFA 28, and we were doing a lot of win trades, and you know, SFA's around the corner. You know, it's like if you have a good all-around team, you never really, you have a lot. Not only do you have a lot of different ways to beat the guy, which sounds like a cliche, but you never know what's going to come up. You know, that's going to take advantage of your good personnel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure Ed didn't build this team saying, yes, with Alex Mack in center, I will line buck my way to victory. You know, but he has Alex Mack, and he's been helpful, and he runs a lot of line bucks, and all of a sudden, a big spot, boom, boom, boom. You get 3 straight Alex Mack blocks, and it helps. You never know when the guy who's just a good player who's on your team is going to come through. So the more good players you have, the better opportunity you have to, you know, for that type of thing to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I totally agree. Totally agree. So, and he had more big plays. That's what I think you've heard me say it before. Big plays, turnovers. We didn't really have any turnovers. I didn't make any foolish going for it on 4th down type calls that were like, you know, hidden turnovers, but he just hit those big plays, and that in a close game like this, that can make the difference. And Russell Wilson, I wasn't intending to throw a lot of flat passes. I don't think I threw a lot of flat passes, but he just wasn't hitting. When I would get a dump off, it would be on my cards for 5 yards or 6 yards or 7 yards. Whereas, you know, if those would have gone on the defensive cards, maybe I could have gotten some bigger plays. So,
yeah, there were different stretches of the game where, like I think there was like maybe a second quarter drive where he was killing with dump offs. It's like when you hit the ball, he kept killing you with different things. It's like, he hit some big bombs. Then another drive, he hit some dump offs. Then another drive, he's getting some Alex Mack runs. You know, so it's like, you know, and the bomb was kind of always present. I think those 3 bombs were kind of well spread out and timely for him, and it just made it hard for you. You know, just made it hard for you. I mean, like I said in a few of these playoff games. Now, I don't want to. I probably shouldn't say this because someone might take it as an insult. I don't think I say it after every single playoff game. You know, but some of these playoff games between these guys who are very successful, like you and Ed, they're just so well coached. You know, I mean, you're watching the game and like it's like, I like to be. You know, I wouldn't say I like to be, but I guess I do like to be. I don't take pleasure in it, but I do it, I guess. But you know, I tend to criticize the coaching and point out things. Oh, wow, this is an interesting call. Why did this guy do this? Or maybe point out something I think might be a mistake. But you know, when you get 2 real good guys in there, I've noticed like almost none of that from me. And I don't think it's because I respect the guys. I think it's because I just don't see really any bad moves. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Well, I'm sure I could have switched it up a little bit. Maybe I should have ran a little more 2 tight end set so that Zach Miller was in there covered by a 4. I liked having Juszczyk in there for the 7 against
Dunlap.
And Dunlap and his outside linebacker if he brings him.
Melvin Ingram.
Yeah, so you know, that's all those things go into it. But I thought he did I would say he probably did a little bit better job coaching than me today, and he had the breaks. And even when I made good calls or double team the right guy, I wasn't getting an interception like you might hope, or at least an incompletion like you might hope. And those things were either hitting dump offs or they just weren't disastrous for him. So even when I was making good calls, they weren't great results.
Yes, well, as a neutral observer, I refute your claim that he may have outcoached you a little bit. You know, I think you guys both coached a very strong game. You know, and he hit the bombs like you said. You know, and some of that. And look, and when you get 2 guys who are good coaches and they both coach good, you know, it's often going to come down to that. You know, maybe who makes the right guess wrong call at the right time, or who gets a little more fortunate with a couple of roles. You know, right. And look, I mean, Ed, you know. Yeah, I mean, look, Ed is, you know, there's no better strat coach out there than Ed. Ed's in the group of the super top guys. You're in the group of the super top guys. I'm saying if you want to talk about the top 3, 4, 5 coaches in the online community, I think you 2 guys are certainly in that group, you know. So, you know, and you've got the rings to prove it. Both of you do, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know.
But it would have been something to recover that onside kick, though, after Ed, lost that 10-point lead in SSFA after, a missed opportunity on the onside. If that would have got the onside, that would have been fun. That's all I'm saying. That would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been fun for you. Ed would have. I'm not sure I would have survived that. You would have had to throw out all the tea. That would not have been not one cup of tea. That would not have been his whole life's supply worth of tea.
Yeah, but, and Ed's had great success. He's won a ton of leagues, but he hadn't won one since 2012. So, you can't keep a good coach down that long, and I think he was due. So, tip of the cap to Ed, and thank you for calling the game. I'm happy. I really didn't expect this SSFA team to be in the Super Bowl, especially after
not a great team.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it was a good team, decent team. It had its strengths, but to go 3-1 in the playoffs as a wild card team, I'm happy with that. So
yeah, no, I was pointing out you were 10-6, and I think Ed was 10-5-1. So that just goes to show you that's another one on the side of, hey, if you have a decent team, get in the postseason. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So
hopefully that'll be hopefully that'll help me in STRAT, where my team is not great, but they're a playoff team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hope I go 10-6, and who knows? Once you get in there, anything can happen. As Nathan was listening could tell us from Autumn Wind. Even if your team really sucks, you can make the Super Bowl. Case Keenum and a bunch of fours. So.
That's got to be the coaching job of the year right there. That's pretty amazing. But it is a 30-team league, so I'm interested to see what type.
That's why Case Keenum and all those fours don't matter, because it's a 30-team league.
Well, let's see what happens in SoMe for 28. See what kind of team.
New QB this year.
Yeah.
Nathan typing in on the side. Do we know yet who that's going to be, Nathan? Have you found any schmucks? I mean, any willing trade partners? So,
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hey, maybe he's getting Jay Cutler. Maybe Jay Cutler is going to land in his lap. Or did Jay Cutler already move?
Well, he's been moved to the new
Voodoo?
New Orleans Voodoo, I believe.
Nostalgia trade.
Nostalgia trade, I guess.
Yep.
He also gave up Dan Carpenter and got back Adam. No, he gave Adam Vinatieri. He swapped kickers to get Cutler.
Cool.
And he gave up Vinatieri and got a far inferior kicker who's currently not on the roster.
Got it.
But he got Jay Cutler. So that's what's important. So, all right, Dennis, so congratulations on a great season, an excellent game. Anybody could have won that game. And hit the big bombs, like you said.
Right.
And, you ready to retire the 2015 card set?
We still have DFL and Summer Sprint.
DFL is 79. Summer Sprint is 85. I said you're ready to retire the 2015 card set.
Gotcha. I was thinking the V 2016, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to tune in.
No more Michael Floyd Max bombs. No more completely horrible Andrew Luck card. No more Jamal Charles. He's not going to be there in the deck at all next year, I think, right?
I don't think so.
Right? Yeah, so
yeah.
No JJ Watt. We'll see you in a couple of years, JJ. Come back soon.
Yeah, I don't think Michael Floyd was a max bomb. He was a max short. And
I'm pretty sure Michael Floyd was a max bomb. I think he was on one of my teams.
No, he's good. He's pretty good. He's a green. But if you share I'm sharing my screen. Malcolm Floyd is max bomb, and Steve Smith is max bomb. Those were both on Ed's teams, but Michael Floyd was the max short, and with lots of long gains and almost 5 on the long pass.
Well, I'm very glad to know, Dennis, that I learned that information just in time for the retiring of the 2015 card set. As I'm sure several times in the broadcast, I said max bomb, so 12-18. So no wonder my Autumn Wind team didn't do so well.
If you just would have known that,
I had known that it was only 12-18.
So all right, Ian.
All right, Dennis. Congratulations. I'll see you later. And everybody, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the game. SSFA title at Barrow. Dennis did a great job. Runner-up. I made another Super Bowl. Kurt Retzlaff is your SSFA champion, beating Ed. So, we're done. We're done for the 2015 card set. Ratings file's been out for a little while now. I hope you looked it all over. And I'll see you for the SOMIFA post-draft show. Or if you're subscribing and you're an Autumn Win, you'll be the Autumn Win post-draft show. And that's about it. And I'm looking forward to that stuff because Autumn Win draft's only a month away. It's actually, what's today, Thursday? It's 30 days away. So do your homework, get ready, draft well, and then you can listen to me unfairly criticize your picks in the post-draft show. So, all right, guys, I'll see you later. Have a good time. Bye-bye.